Come back to me, Jug. We're not done yet, do you hear me? Our story's not over.
Things just keep getting stranger in the town with pep, Riverdale. After season 2's emotional, dramatic, and straight up overwhelming second to last episode, the CW show's season finale left us with even more questions. So here are 5 burning questions for Riverdale season 3. And if you haven't watched the finale yet, warning, major spoilers ahead. Now, it's also worth noting that in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter following the finale, creator and showrunner Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa suggested viewers turn to episode 7 of season 2, titled Tales from the Dark Side, for clues about what may come when Riverdale returns next season. So with that in mind, first up, will Archie end up in the clink? The season finale ended with our hero being hauled off by the new sheriff in town, whose loyalty lies with Hiram Lodge, just as Arch was about to be sworn in as the new student council president.
Archie Andrews, you're under arrest for the murder of Shadow Lake resident Cassidy Bullock. What?
Archie's obviously being framed by the criminal mastermind, as he didn't really kill the lake house intruder, but he did basically threaten Hiram's life. Did you really think Veronica's daddy dearest was going to let him get away with that one? And what about the new Serpents? Cheryl Blossom has joined the ranks of the down, but not completely out biker gang, even receiving a custom red leather serpent jacket. Who knew that was an option? The new member announcement was Jughead's first act as the gang's new leader, aka the Serpent King, after his dad FP stepped down. But remember, he just might end up running that speakeasy Veronica plans on opening underneath Pop's chocolate shop. But what will Jughead's leadership mean for the group? And will Betty take Jug up on his offer and join the gang as his Serpent Queen?
You're asking me to join the Serpents, Jug?
Sorta.
You know what they say, like mother, like daughter. And speaking of Betty's family, what will happen to Hal? As we learned in the season's penultimate episode, those cryptic calls to Betty were coming from her dad all along. Hal Cooper really was a serial killer, the Black Hood. Why didn't we see that one coming? So Hal is now in jail, and after much debate, Betty finally decided to visit dear old dad in his Hannibal Lecter-like cell in order to confront him and swear off the darkness he passed down to her. But is the Silence of the Lambs reference more than just a nod? Could we see Hal take on an advisory role for Detective Betty, providing insights into the mind of a killer? Aguirre-Sacasa seems to think that's a possibility. And when it comes to killers, have we really seen the last of the other Black Hood? Sheriff Mineta offered a weak story about the identity of the debate night shooter, suggesting that disgraced Serpent Tallboy was behind it. The suspect conveniently died off-screen before he could speak for himself, which doesn't seem like a particularly satisfying answer to that mystery. And finally, what about Chick? Is he really dead, or did he make it out of his confrontation with the Black Hood, aka Betty's dad, alive? That body in the morgue wasn't his, so it seems highly likely that he'll turn up again, probably at the worst possible moment. And don't forget the still undiscovered body that Betty and Jughead disposed of. There are many, many more questions we could get into, like what really happened to Betty's actual brother? Is Dark Betty gone for good? And what will come from the sinister circle meeting we saw Hiram, Penelope, Claudius, and more shady figures having about funneling drugs through the new prison? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait until next season to get our answers, but in the meantime, be sure to let me know all your Riverdale Season 3 theories in the comments. Until next time, for The Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Tiffany Taylor.